Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank. I'm like, you are having a great day, and in today's video, I'm going to be sitting back in my very comfortable chair, relaxing and having a little conversation with all of you guys about retro video games. That's right. Today, I'm just going to kind of advertise retro gaming to you in general. You see, the modern gaming landscape is full to the brim of overpriced consoles that either don't have a whole lot of games on them, or the games they do have are DRM infested, always online games that could be modified, changed, or even destroyed by the publishers at any time. This is something that, if you have been playing video games in the last 5 or so years, you've probably experienced yourself, where some game publisher or another has made changes to a game that you have purchased without your express consent. And I'm here to remind all of you guys that that's just not something that can happen in the world of retro gaming. You see, part of the appeal for a lot of the games I have behind me on the shelf right there are that they're mine. They're my games. If Nintendo doesn't like how I play, I don't know, Banjo-Kazooie for the N64, or if Rare doesn't like how I play Banjo-Kazooie for the N64, then, well, they can stuff it, because it's my copy, I paid for it, and they can't remotely force an update to the game that makes it worse in some way. If Sony doesn't appreciate how I'm playing Bloodborne on the PlayStation 4, well, there's not a whole lot they can do about it, because my console's pretty much always offline. I never subject myself to updates, and I enjoy the game as it was. And there's something nice about that, you know? Something nice about being able to be the ultimate end decider of what happens to the things that you spend your money on. And a lot of companies don't respect that. So in today's video, which I do hope to make this a quick video, I'd like to remind you that not only is the history of the gaming world, the retro world of gaming, full of some real bangers, like real bang for your buck games, not only are the games themselves good and in some cases very affordable, the companies that really don't seem to understand the line between their property and your property, there's not a lot they can do about the retro game market. And for some companies, like Nintendo, that makes them seethe in anger. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If Nintendo could hire assassins to hunt down every single person who still plays GameCube games, they probably would. That strikes me as the kind of thing that Nintendo would want to do. Same with Sony and such. Every PS1 owner is on watch the moment Sony manages to legalize video game assassins. But all jokes aside, there really are some great games out there. And originally, when I sat down earlier to brainstorm this video, I was going to give you guys 2 lists of games roughly to talk about. You know, not super detailed lists, just 2 consoles to talk about. I wanted to talk about 2 consoles that I have grown up with and enjoyed greatly, the GameCube and the PlayStation 2. And I was going to frame this from from a look at the retro game market and how very affordable it is. But as I was sitting down and going through my actual GameCube library, it occurs to me that a lot of the GameCube games that I'm a huge fan of, especially in my opinion, some of the better games in the GameCube library, they aren't nearly as affordable as they were just 5 years ago. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, The Wind Waker, Pikmin, Star Fox Assault. Some of those games have gained an exceptional amount of value and secondary market price tags over the last 5 years, which is something that surprises me. So instead, we're just going to talk about the PlayStation 2 today, and why I think it would be in your, not best interest, but why you should consider picking up a PlayStation 2. You see, the PlayStation 2 console is, well, for one of the most selling consoles of all time. According to Sony themselves, it is the best selling console of all time. I'm inclined to believe them for now. But that means that as far as the secondary market goes, as far as used copies go of a PS2, fat or slim, it means there's a lot out there. And despite how memorable and iconic the console is, this proliferation means it is relatively affordable. You can pick up either version, honestly, for between $150 to $200 these days. Yeah, that is quite the increase to where it used to be. It used to be very, very cheap. But that's still, in my opinion, very affordable for a console that will get you a lot of mileage. To say nothing of the games. See, unlike the GameCube, where a lot of the best games for the GameCube are unga bunga expensive, to the point of ludicrousness, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I like Twilight Princess. But I don't $150 like Twilight Princess. If I didn't already have a GameCube copy of that game, I would not be buying one. Just so we're clear. But unlike the GameCube, which has experienced a massive rise up in prices, a lot of PS2 games have a lot of copies available for very cheap. In fact, in my opinion, some of the best PlayStation 2 games out there can be picked up for under $20, which is crazy when you consider some of these games have, well, a lot of staying power. Yeah, there's a lot of cool racing games and fighting games and all that jazz. On the platform, there was a King of Fighters game that's really cool. There's a lot of good stuff out there. There's the Mega Man collection for the PS2. I think there was a Sonic collection as well. Some good stuff. Resident Evil 4 is on the PS2, and that's one of the, in my opinion, one of the better Resident Evil games. Really fun game. You can get a lot of mileage out of that one. There's God of War. God of War 2 on the PlayStation 2 is an all-star smash hit, in my opinion. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of good games out there. Shadow of the Colossus, for instance, where you can get hours and hours of enjoyment out of these games for very little in terms of financial investment. And to top it all off, these are all your games. And that's the thing I really wanted to talk about, not how cheap it is to pick up a PS2 library, because some games are expensive. The dot hack games, for instance, are not cheap, especially Volume 4. Please, I beg you, Bandai. I think it's Bandai that owns the license to that. I would really appreciate it if they re-released the first 4 dot hack games. There's a lot of cool stuff on the PS2. Oh, that's right, Ratchet and Clank. Oh, and Star Wars Battlefront 2. You should play that. Ratchet and Clank, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Jak and Daxter. I actually don't like Jak and Daxter that much now that I've replayed it recently. Replayed the first 2 games in the series, and I did not enjoy them as much as I remember enjoying them. But I digress. The big thing is not just the affordability of a lot of these games, because they are affordable. A lot of these are really cheap for what they are. But it's the fact that, A, you probably haven't tried them. If you are one of my younger viewers, there is a very real chance that you have not tried some of these old PS2 games. And that's a shame. But B, more importantly, like I was saying earlier, these are your games. You control what they are, you control what you do with them, you control how you play them, and the companies that produced them 20 years ago can't do anything about that. And there's something nice about that. So, that's my sales pitch for the day. I will see you guys tomorrow for some more TCG talk, because we have some things to talk about in the TCG world. So, thanks again for watching, kiddos. Please like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. You guys know the drill by this point. I'll see you next time. Ciao.